Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Kristen Lloyd with Bariatric Mindset, author of Bariatric Mindset Success. And the topic I am addressing today is the topic of willingness. And in your post-op journey, you would think that many of us would be willing to try new things or have a lot of willingness since we've had weight loss surgery. However, there can be a lot of unwillingness with regards to all of the lifestyle changes, all of the behavioral changes, and all of the things that are required on the post-op journey. And that can feel heavy and it can feel like a lot of have-tos. And there can also be this perception of, or the experience of emotional eating because of anxiety, a lot of big emotions that people are not used to feeling. And so this can create suffering, essentially. And so anxiety and non-acceptance is one of the ways that a lot of therapists will describe suffering, right? Anxiety and non-acceptance, or non-acceptance of feelings and so much more. And so the topic of willingness is really important to address in the post-op process. So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys, and ask that you write it down somewhere, is what am I willing to do? What am I willing to do to be healthy for life? What am I willing to do for my body? What am I willing to do for my mental health and my emotional health? And what am I willing to do for my wellness? And so willingness really is being open to your own experience as it is, without changing it, without trying to manipulate it, avoiding it, or escaping it. And so that willingness in that moment is like mindfulness. It's saying this thing is the way it is. And it's honoring what's coming up in that moment. Willingness is not liking it, wanting it, or approving of it. And so willingness is kind of like acceptance, right? It's not loss or resignation, but it's more of understanding that you are where you are. Now, can you change what is in this moment? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to move past old habits, right? Likely, yes, but you also need to come to terms with your own willingness in this moment, willing to see things as they are, and not escape, right, what doesn't feel good or try to avoid what doesn't feel good, but honoring what's showing up in your life right now. And so willingness is an opportunity. It's similar to mindfulness in that you're looking, you're practicing awareness of the present moment, but then also addressing what you're willing to do differently, right? And so it is a choice. Willingness and paying attention to the present moment is a choice. So that is also why it's very important that you come in contact with, what you're willing to do differently and what you're willing to accept in your life. Now, on the post-op journey, are there going to be difficulties? Absolutely. And this is where you get to practice willingness, is that you're willing to see things as they are. And you can also be willing to do things differently, to see things differently, to act from a different place. And another quote that I will use in this moment is one that comes from Viktor Frankl. And what he says is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And when you are practicing mindfulness and when you are practicing willingness, you are much more able to see that space, to be in that space. However, learning that and practicing that is a process. Practicing willingness is a process. Asking yourself each and every day, what am I willing to do for my health journey? What am I willing to do for myself? What am I willing to do for my mental health? And Start asking this question on a daily basis, because it's something that's going to help to move you towards where you want to go. And it's also going to give you a greater understanding of what you're willing to do and what you're unwilling to do in this moment. And it helps for you to practice that awareness and that mindfulness for your journey. And then if you're struggling with whatever willingness might show up that day, then you can go a little deeper on that and start to address what's coming up for you, what discomfort there might be, etc. And that also may be a key notion that it's time for you to go work with a therapist. And so that may be something else, is that if you're noticing yourself being unwilling or not asking the question or avoiding or escaping your feelings, or regularly emotionally eating as a result of escaping or avoiding feelings, then that's usually a cue that you've got to work on some deeper layers to help you overcome it. And that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you've got to work on overcoming those issues before you can get past them. So I hope that this has helped you today so that you can understand this whole concept of willingness, and really asking yourself what you're willing to do for yourself, for your health journey. And when you come across difficult emotions, how are you willing to see them? Are you willing to see them as they are and acknowledge their existence and then move on? Are you willing to make some changes for yourself? So I hope this helps you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.